Oh, chat, what am I ever gonna do with myself? The mayor has breached containment. Bitch, nothing can keep me in. But happy, what's today? What's today? What's today? Wednesday Day. Today is Wednesday Day. Happy Wednesday Day, chat. Happy Windiness Day. Wooshtiness Day. And then there's Ordained shaking himself. But welcome in, guys. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, hold on. I was double checking first. I was like, wait, is the jacket right there? Yes, jacket is right. Jacket is correct. Jacket is very correct. But welcome in, guys. My brain is pudding today for some reason. I don't really know. Someone has to shake me, and no one else is doing it. Biggles, no. Bad, cease, desist, no. Illegal. Wait a second. Oh, okay. I thought it was something else. Does it count as streaking if you have fur? Yes, it does. You are, in fact, without clothes. Streaking is only the act of, like, running around without clothes on. It doesn't... I mean, technically, you're still naked, even if you have fur. Have you not seen a cat owner, like, yell at their cat and be like, you don't even have your pants on, little man? What are you doing? Where are your pants at? Browse? Not illegal if I don't get it caught? Brows? My eyebrows? Whose eyebrows? I'm confused. So if you shaved the fur and wore it, then would be with clothes. I mean, not necessarily if you shaved it and then just kind of like glued it onto yourself, you'd still technically be naked. But like if you turned it into clothing, I suppose that would count. Hold on, sorry, I'm putting on chapstick. It's a little dog with weight. Oh, gotcha. Oh, the brows emote. Duh. The downside is when I read some of my chats that's like built into OBS is it doesn't show the 7TV emotes. But I know this chat does. Maybe when it said big chat, maybe I should look at that chat a lot more. Does it? Let me see. Does it work right? Brows. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's the Pomeranian with the eyebrows. I know the one. Oh, okay. I'm scrolling to see what's trending. And again, chat, of course, as everybody knows, the horse game is trending. But there's somebody's posting pictures from apparently a documentary on Haru Rara, the horse that lost all of her races. I'm scared of horse game. You should go play horse game. It's fun. Yeah, we don't see it. That's because it's only on Discord. I don't want to risk getting in trouble for it. Wait. Okay, that's something else. Chat, if you didn't see it, real quick, what we did yesterday, in Discord, only me and Lucian were there. Somebody else was, but now I can't remember who it was, but they left like 10 minutes after. Me and Lucian watched Lord of Mysteries, one of my favorite light novels ever that got a anime this season, and apparently, solo leveling fans are hating on it. It is so fucking good. Chat, you have no idea. You need to go watch it. It's in Chinese, mind you. It's in Chinese, not Japanese, but it does have a half decent sub until you start getting a bunch of characters on screen and they're trying to give you stats on the characters, and then it's kind of overwhelming. It's on 7TV, but it's unlisted. Fun fact, turning an unlisted 7TV emote will also have the etc. emote because that's also unlisted. It is? 7TV. Why is it unlisted? I think it has to be like approved or something. I swear when I upload these, they have to like get approved. Emotes. My emotes. No, that's, how do I, themes? No, no, damn it. How the fuck do I view my own emotes again? Directory? See, when it's not easy, when, like, there's a point up here where it says Marin Go Rounds emotes. I click that. And it just gives me the options to, like, click between certain ones of which ones I'm adding other emotes to. Etc. That's just unlisted later on. That's why it doesn't come up anymore. But why? Why can't I fucking... Ugh. I think we have this problem every time I like pull up 7TV. Watsaku, welcome in. Man who go through airport turnstile sideways is going... You know what? You know what? Okay. Okay, that's... I think it's also the fucking animated clown emote that also makes it. And the fact that it sounds like a Confucius saying for some reason. Start calling itself Mecha Hitler, about start spouting spicy pain wheel propaganda. No, we've not, because I don't know anything about it. I have seen nothing. I think we have been over it, but I think at the time it was still like, why won't you work, bitch? Like, I don't understand why it's not easy to just go look at the emotes that you have. I'm looking at top, there's trending, there's new. Clicking my own shit doesn't do anything. There's nothing on the left. I'm clicking emotes. There's no drop down for that. Skill issue? Why? I'm sure it's not going to be in settings or anything. Editors. No. Just shoot me. Just shoot me, dude. It's uploaded emotes on your profile page? There's... Huh? There's nothing here. Home? Chatterino. If I click here? There it is. Okay, for fuck's sake. There's no indication that that is a button.
Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Why is it unlisted? Too bwompy? Too bwompy? How can I make it relisted?
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Is it because it wasn't approved? Is that why? Go to activity, currently finished processing. It says it's added to my emotes. I'm still in my ghost shit. So yeah, so Living Sense got mad that the show was actually writing came out. It is whatever solo leveling is. True. Okay, hold on. Burger. Oh, right. I forgot we have this. Don't forget, chat. We have our goon emote. That did not work. Why did that not work? Why did that not work? Did it work on the other end? No. Why didn't it work? Hello? It's not all caps. It's supposed to only be capital G. It's capital G goon. Confirm change. Uh. hmm? Oh, did I change it to boss? Is that why? Oh, I think it is because I changed it to boss. Duh. Duh. Okay, that's why. Fucking do this to me, Sunstar. Fucking do this to me. How could you? Don't laugh at me because I'm stupid. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. All right, I'm just double checking. You know, there's one emote I forgot we have, and it's yay horror. This is a good emote. This is a good emote. We're all a little silly sometimes. I am exceptionally silly, exceptionally goobery, and by that, of course, I mean easily distracted and brain is pudding. But also this one, Adge. Adge, 1 of 80 ads. Amazing. Pudding? What do you mean pudding? Don't eat my brain just because it's pudding. I got the pudding brain. I got the pudding brain. Of course there's here, let me see, where is it? We need, of course, ours. the Bugs Bunny ours. Anything more than words? That's you have to have 7TV downloaded, Mr. Woozer. You have to get the 7TV extension. And there's, let me double check. What's the number for emotes in this folder? You get nearly 300 additional emotes if you have 7TV on this channel. That's not to mention any other people that you watch that may use 7TV. So I always recommend getting it. It's really fun and you get really goofy emotes. Yeah, you can also see like people putting them in the chat here next to me. That's what they actually look like. That's like what the emotes actually are. Use 7TV. My computer is a BTTV household. The thing is though, BTTV got sucked into 7TV. They're the same thing now. They're the same thing now. Don't you know? Don't you know, chat? Oh god, more fucking Prince pictures. I don't care about the British royal family. Ew. Ew. I don't like it. Cease and desist. All right. Oh, what the fuck? Same thing, but the shark and jets are still at war. What? I know, but 7TV sucks. Yeah, kind of. Sorry, I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting that's going on in terms of news. But okay, that doesn't seem real. That doesn't seem real. Why is there so much fucking royalty? Okay. Okay. I don't understand the skip between showing me pictures of like royalty, Wimbledon, and for some reason porn. Twitter, why are you like this? Why are you like, oh, I see. Never mind. I see why. I see why. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Stir them beans. Beans? 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 What do you mean beans? Was that a West Side Story? Ooh. This might be the same thing, but the sharks and jets are still at war. That does kind of feel like a West Side Story reference. I'm more on par with the Warriors. But why is Fallout trending right now? It looks like it's just people shitposting. Steam Summer Sale versus my PC just downloaded every single Fallout game in existence. That's AI. But yeah, it's... Oh, that's fucking Tom Cruise for some reason. Fallout 5 needs to have this level of facial fidelity, otherwise what are we even doing? What? What? Oh, these are Fallout 1 faces. Okay. Okay, yeah. These are the faces from Fallout 1 and 2 that... Huh? What? Yeah, oh, they're saying they want to go back to stylized Fallout? Is that what I'm hearing? Instead of ultra realistic? Come out to play. Yay. I don't have 3 glass bottles to cling together. Prawn on work hours. Listen, this Twitter does as Twitter does, okay? You can't exactly stop it. Chat. I may have forgotten. Did they announce that Fallout 5 was in production? Is there any announcement on the next Fallout series? I thought there wasn't. I could be completely mistaken. Stop killing games at 1.289 million signatures. Hell yeah, that should keep going just in case people are like faking it. Because a lot of times when you do that, you'll end up finding out that like people like VPN'd their way into being able to sign it, and those will get thrown out. So the more signatures you get for the Stop Killing Games initiative, the better. I know that season 2 of the show is dropping in December. Wait, really? That soon? Jesus. Warner Brothers UK made a post 8 hours ago showing the Fallout show. Huh. Elder Scrolls 6, but that's just an announcement. Chat, I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a shit about Elder Scrolls. And I say this all the time. Because I don't think Elder Scrolls is a good RPG. When they like shadow dropped the Oblivion remake and everybody was like losing their mind over it, scooping it up, and has been playing it basically ever since, I still don't care. I still don't care. Mr. Software told me that they aren't important. Wait, which part? What did Ordain say? What do you mean they aren't important? The people that signed it? Well, true, but it's the fact that it'll be looked at because it becomes a citizens initiative. Once you reach the 1 million threshold when it comes to an EU petition like this, hitting the 1 million threshold means that they will actually review it and potentially put it into law. The idea is to get this in front of people as like a consumer rights bill kind of thing, because it's not something that they're already working on. It's not any legislature is working on something like that. They announced Elder Scrolls 6 7 years ago. Do you want to know something I actually found out yesterday? Who remembers the game Routine? There was like there was a trailer for Routine, and I think it was 2022. It was the like retro robot horror in Unreal Engine 5. I found out that apparently a couple days ago, their Twitter page came back and confirmed that they are still working on the game. But that's not the thing that I was most surprised about. Don't remember? Okay, we'll find Routine and I will show you Routine. Give me just a second. Routine trailer. Okay, this one. 3 years ago. Summer Game Fest 2022. Which is funny because I think there's a Game Fest going on like right now. Why is this taking forever to load? Oh well, I'll go ahead and bring the screen down while it loads. It started as soon as I fucking looked away. It started as soon as I fucking looked away. All right. Okay, chat. Let me change the audio settings. So this is Routine. It's supposed to be, or seemingly, a... Sorry, I realized I had more programs open than I intended to. All right. Yeah, that's a robot fish with a wire coming out of it. Hold on. Sorry. I wanted to improve the visuals. I've been on board since Accursed Farms brought it to my attention like 10 years ago. I'm poking fun at Pirate Software for being dense. Correct. But yeah, this was the trailer that came out in the Summer Games Fest in 2022. And it looks cool. It looks very interesting. It's this like super retro futurism horror game. Look at that fucking gun, dude. Looks like I put a VHS in that bitch. The video's a little grainy, but I think that's my own internet connection. Hey, buddy. Surprise. Sorry, we only do Betamax here. It looks like you probably put a Betamax in there too, I'm not gonna lie. Or an A-track. Now, the thing I didn't know until yesterday, now if I go back to this list, there's another one here. Routine gameplay trailer. 12 years ago. This game was initially announced in 2013. The very first talk of it was in 2013. I didn't know that. And it never released. It's been in production that entire time. That whole time. Crash Sale Sentient. Hi, Gaia. Does this work on Laserdisc? No Laserdisc. Sorry. This is only tapes and cartridges. But yeah, the newest thing is like this trailer. You can see I've watched this one on Punished. But yeah, this is one of those games that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. What's the other one? Carnival Hunt? I think it's Hunt, not Haunt. Yeah, this is another game that's literally been in production since I started streaming. Let's do the most recent trailer. And it's gonna be multiplayer. Apparently it's gonna be an asymmetrical multiplayer. Oh, uh-oh, immediately froze. Immediately froze. Let's go back. Dark dreams don't die on an unrelated note. I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar. How is Malvin? I'm doing pretty good. Are we lagging today? Are we getting a bunch of the goofy shits? Also, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay. Now, like I said, this is the game that was in production literally like, I think it was first announced literally the month before I started streaming. And we've seen what feels like borderline fucking nothing of this game, aside from these trailers. Now, this is supposedly gameplay. Supposedly. I wonder who the wheelchair person is. They haven't described like a whole lot of things. Like these keys, we know they're important. Apparently these are like the victims. You play as the rabbits. And the keys, if you find keys, I guess can like resurrect different players. I don't remember the numbers they gave. Oh, a jump pad. Huh. I feel like there needs to be an animation for that. What the heck? Okay. Okay, he threw another rabbit at him to knock him down. Oh. Oh. Teleporting magician, anyone? Again, I'm still pretty interested in this game. I kind of hope it comes out someday. The annoying thing though is it literally still has no release date. Yeah, back on Kickstarter. Never a good sign. That's always what it is too. They release a new trailer every like couple years. Like 3 years, 3 years, 2 years. I could have swore there was one that was like 1 year ago. That's the same one. That's just somebody re-uploading the original. Oh, do y'all want to see the horrifying original trailer? Hold on, which one of these is it? We'll do this one. We'll do this one. The game I hope comes out eventually is Jurassic Park Survival. Isn't that just like fucking Ark? Probably. I've never seen this in my entire life. Listen, it happens. Yeah, again, too, this was the original trailer that they showed off when they announced this game. And I remember, on occasion, we still get some people that come around and they're like, have you seen this game, Carnival Hunts? Bone Key. Bone Key. But with chaos theory, what does that mean? The thing too was when this first came out, I honestly thought that the like things that were chasing the rabbits were supposed to be human. There's also the fact that the rabbit dolls just seem to litter everywhere. Like there's bodies everywhere, so I'm curious about to see how that. Oh. Miss Streamer, do you agree with the statement, Jaws is the most successful horror movie ever released? Probably? Honestly, probably. If it's the largest grossing than any other like horror movie, then yeah, I could agree with that. Oh, I hate it. Okay, there's one scene I'm waiting on that like really freaked me out. I'm pretty sure it's in this trailer. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Okay. Look at him. He's horrifying. That's still not the scene though. I think conceptually it succeeded more than any horror movie by making people think that they... Oh, there it is. I still don't understand what that's supposed to be, but that was one of the earliest parts that I remember seeing. He just takes his fucking head off. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that's flesh. Hold on. That's pretty fleshy. You still owe me 100 euros? Are you saying this is Andrew? Streaming this trailer, being hyped for it. I wonder if they even remember this game by now. Good question. I'm still kind of excited. Seems it might be very Dead by Daylight. I think so too. In a sense. It's asymmetrical, obviously. I don't fully know I don't remember the gist. I know the killer is like trying to get the keys from the rabbits. But I think the rabbits are trying to escape or something. I don't know for sure. I don't remember for sure. We could double check. Let me see real quick. Let me pull up Steam. Because I know it's still technically on Steam. Carnival Hunt. Coming soon, Beer Night Studios. Critivo is the publisher, but survival of the fittest. Each side is struggling to survive. Not only the bunnies need charge to survive, so does the monster. Replayability. No two playthroughs are ever the same. To survive, you'll need a trustworthy team and perfect execution. Voice chat, point of view, all players play in first person and nobody has the advantage of better situational awareness. The circus is loud, circus has a crowd, circus is fun, you're never done. But now circus is silent, circus is violent. No time for fun, you'll need to run. Saving that, pardon me, I'm gonna just maybe do a different voiceover dub for that later. Dragon Ball isn't allowed to end. Apparently, the creator said he can't end the series because so much of Japan's economy depends on Dragon Ball that it would cause economic problems if Dragon Ball ever ended. Wait, isn't the original creator of Dragon Ball Z is dead, isn't he? Could have swore he was. But I'm trying to see if there's any more details on the Lazarus. Out of charge does not mean you're dead. Other players can use their own keys or loot an additional key to charge you back up. Helping hand. Players can help each other to achieve certain objectives, which are not possible to do alone. The monsters have unique perks, sets, and skills. The magician, he simply performs walking and jogging actions, but bear in mind that he is a magician by day. The hunt. You need to capture the bunnies and consume their wind-up keys to charge yourself up and keep hunting for more. Eyeball. In a situation where bunny is acting as if they are dead, the magician checks to see if an actual dead bunny or player is pretending to be one. You can check all of them, but you will lose precious time. Yeah, there's no description of like the story behind this. Okay, so back in April, they announced that there was alpha testing happening in May. Okay. What's new in the updates? New location, amusement hall, fresh playground for chaos, roller coaster rides, creepy puppets, bunny makeup, magician customization, new bunny objectives. But wait, how do you get into the alpha? How do you get into the alpha? Oh, there was one in March too. But oh, I don't like that. Why is the carrot in the steel cage? Jingle Bun. Aw. All right, chat, you want to see this? Look at him. Look at Jingle Bun. He's just a little wooden dude. Also, here's the carrot. I don't know why the carrot's in a cage. Bioreactive plant that produces thick, vibrant purple-blue smoke when disturbed. Interesting. And then there's this. I don't know what this is. Just a carrot in a cage? No. Has passed away, but he isn't the one behind the new series. Oh, I know he has apprentices that are continuing the series. Who dat? It's Steve. Oh, it's Steve? Okay. Interesting. Oh, the ticket man will appear at random places in the circus, reacting to the bunnies, revealing their location, but the magician must spend a key to activate them. Again, though, I still don't know how many, like, what the player count is for this game. January update. Roadmap. The Sisters implementation. Kickstarter exclusive in-game rewards, new character skins, UI improvement, animation improvement, sound design improvement. Okay, so at least it seems like they're still progressing. I don't like those hats. Bunnies possess a special ability to teleport between two hats using the Lost Hat tool. By placing one hat in a desired location, you can instantly teleport back to it in times of danger or suspense. However, be cautious. The carnival monsters have the power to deactivate the first hat you planted. Okay. Radar. Cannon. Whatever the fuck that is. Oh, it's a plug. Spark plug? I dig it. I dig it. Hi, fake nudes. How are you doing? Sounds to me like there's some device that puts human minds into constructs and the keys are used to generate life energy somehow. I don't know if it's life energy or if everything actually is A puppet? Which I think the thing is, it was like fleshy in that one cutscene, but like now he doesn't look so fleshy. So it really makes me wonder. Oh. That's horrifying. And then there's whatever it is. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. If that's the ticket man or if it's something else. The magician can pull a bunny out of a cage, but the bunny will panic. Magician can now avoid slipping on marble balls. Good luck. Oh no. Okay, that seems interesting, but yeah, again, coming soon. It's still just marked coming soon. I'm upset about it, okay? I'm upset. Allowed to be upset. I want this game to be cool. Oh right, I forgot about the Berserk bunny. The really scary looking bunny that can apparently like fake keys grind the soul, maybe? This thing is, I'm not entirely sure. It could be like, because like in the first trailer, it was like the bunny was like waking up from something and was confused why he was a bunny. Schnoz! Oh, it's Germa? Germa. Wait, what? Evangelion is a load-bearing series, but in all seriousness, it's their #1 cultural export. People consume it so often, there's an entire identity built around it. There's no turning back lest they wish the economic jigsaw to fall over completely. Listen, though, the thing is, I mentioned Lord of Mysteries earlier. Again, me and Lucian watched the first 3 episodes that are out currently of it. It's so good, you guys. It's so fucking good. Like, and it's Chinese animation. It's not Japanese animation. But it is so good. It's super fun. You are going to be confused if you watch it. There's going to be parts where you can be like, wait, but what is that? What does that mean? What is this thing? And that's the point. It's a mystery show. If you like mystical mystery shows, it's really good. It's if you want an idea on it, it's Victorian age eldritch horror. Also, there's like a gnat in here or something flying around the mic. The little berserk guy schnoz. Huh? Wait, is that an actual character? Is that an actual character? Schnoz. A person's nose. Oh, that's Schnoz, the little guy. Okay, I gotcha. Why is there a fucking Chad Schnoz here? I don't like that. I don't like that. Think of a self-care. This self-care is brought to you by Gamer Subs. Heads up, guys. Gamer Subs is coming to a 7-Eleven nationwide if you live in America. They're getting cans as of Friday. Hey, bro, welcome in. How are you doing? Also, hi, Geneva Suggestions. You're telling me they made Chinese Bloodborne? No. No, it is, well, it could be. You know what? You know what? It's pretty fucking close. Hold on. What year did Bloodborne come out in? Bloodborne release date 2015. Okay, that was definitely after I started reading Lord of the Mysteries. I don't know when the first issue came out, but I was definitely reading Lord of the Mysteries in college. So that had to be between 2016 and like 2020. But yeah, if you want to think of it kind of that way, it's kind of close to that. It's kind of close to that. There are Beyonders. There are powers beyond our understanding. It is probably going to get crazy later. Hope you and chat are feeling awesome. Listen, my favorite light novel of all time got an anime, and it's actually fucking good. The nearest 7-Eleven is 250 miles from me. You can also order the cans on the website. They're going live this Friday. Weirdly enough, though, they come in 3 sizes. Single can, which it's random. You don't get to pick which single can you get. A 6-pack, and then I think it's a 12-pack variety. And then the mega thing, which is like, let me see if I can find the fucking thing, because it's so funny. What are the sizes? It's $3 for a single can, $33 for a variety pack, $5,000 for a mega pallet. Oh, okay. It looks like they're only selling one mega pallet. It says 1 of 1 GG Energy mega pallet. Includes 3 signed cans, which it's Goop Juice, Guacamole Gamer Fart, or Goof Juice, Guacamole Gamer Fart, and Good, which probably means it's going to be signed by Penguin or whatever his name is, Russian Badger, and is it Smitty? Is Smitty's flavor the good one? I think Smitty's it's not Goop, it's Goof. I even have Goof Juice, but I keep calling it Goop Juice. I always want to call it Goop Juice. Wait, are they actually coming to 7-Eleven or are they coming out on 7-Eleven? They're coming to 7-Eleven on 7-Eleven. I'm pretty sure. Didn't they announce? Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Wait, is this bad guy? Where did you come from? No, never mind. It is. Okay, yeah, I misunderstood. It's not coming to 7-Eleven. It is coming out on 7-Eleven, but I thought it was going to be both. That's my own misunderstanding. I was kind of excited to be able to go buy just like a single can at 7-Eleven. Oh, well. Oh, well. It sounds like Goofy merch. No, it's, Penguin, what's his name? He has another name. Swears by Guacamole Gamer Fart. He says the new cans are absolutely delicious. I haven't had a can yet, but Guacamole Gamer Fart is really good. It's a really good flavor. Annoyingly, like the people that have the biggest shares in the company have the best flavors. Shy Lily's Blowhole Blast is shockingly really good, and I don't give a shit about Shy Lily. Couldn't care less about Shy Lily, honestly. Russian Badgers is really good. What are some of the other ones that are... I have Splooge, which is Cottontails, but maybe Cottontail has a share. I don't think Cottontail has a share in the company. But that's actually what I have next to me. I put 1 scoop in my shaker today to take to the gym of Splooge. But I think it's like a tangerine flavor or something, but it's white. Because of course it's white. It's Cottontail. I know Lily does, but I don't know about anyone else. Russian Badger did have the largest share, but then eventually Shy Lily apparently got a larger. I tried Cinders. Cinders is terrible. I had they gave me a shaker. They gave me a shaker of Cinders tea. It was something tea. Is it peach tea? It's not peach tea. It's like, let me double check. See if it's, I don't even know if it's still available. It's like Pyro something, I think. Pyro Power? Yeah, Pyro Power. They gave it to me. It is pomegranate tea, and it tasted terrible. It was awful. Yeah, it was pomegranate tea, and it did not taste good. I did not like it. And then all of the shit went down. And so I just threw it away. But yeah, I was like, I tried it. I was kind of excited too, because like, I know people that are like, at the time that were like absolutely obsessed with like Cinder's merch and Cinder's flavor and stuff. And it was the biggest one that they were pushing at the time. But when I tried it, I was like, this is not good. Why would you make energy drink, well, cold shaker energy drink tea when you could just make the actual tea? Oh no. YouTube will only pay creators who use their real voice and produce original content starting July 15th. Making reused videos, copied content, low effort uploads, and fully AI generated videos will be ineligible for monetization. Thank God, YouTube. Thank fucking God. It's the difference between a well-dressed man on a bicycle, a poorly dressed man on a unicycle, and a tub of glue. I don't know, they're stuck together? I feel like this is a stuck together joke. A tire? I hate you. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good fucking joke. I'm sorry. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from drinking it warm. I'm not about to take steaming hot shaker powdered tea to the gym with me. I only drink Gamer Steps when I go to the gym are finally dying out. Thank fucking God, because they're fucking misinformation farms. I'm kind of glad it happened because I didn't like her from the start. I actually got to see her in person once when I went to WeebCon, still the only convention I've ever been to in my life. Not this previous WeebCon, but the WeebCon before. I was chilling in the bench in the atrium of the Gaylord because that's where it was, the Gaylord Texan. And she came past wearing like the maid outfit that her and a bunch of the other girls were wearing to the UNESCO Heritage Fund for the Culture of Communication between viewers. The official survey will be sent within 24 hours of receiving the butt prints from your gaming chair. The thing is, though, is I don't have a gaming chair. I have an office chair. There is no like indent. Go to MagFest? Maybe someday. My buddy Hora really wants me to go to MagFest. And why were you on the bench? Because I was sad. I was not having fun. And like, so this convention was a fucking travesty. I did not have fun. I had nobody to hang out with. I was there pretty much the entire time by myself. None of my friends like seemed to ask if they wanted to hang out that I knew were there, except Goopy. Goopy was an absolute delight, but my anxiety got the better of me at that point, and I didn't want to hang out anymore. But there was no phone signal in the entire convention hall. There was 3 floors in the convention hall. There was no phone signal. So to get phone signal, you had to go down all 3 floors, go across the atrium back to the hotel, into the atrium, into the open air atrium, and that's when you would get phone signal. So that was the only place that I could like text people and figure out where people were and what the fuck was going on. And then I would go back in, I would do something, I would like go, I went to a couple of those, like, what do they call? No, not meetings, events of some kinds or talks that some people did. I went to a trading card one that was kind of interesting. MagFest beats out all the other cons by a mile. The energy is just so good. And turn on, there was no Wi-Fi. There was no Wi-Fi to use. Again, there was no Wi-Fi and there was no phone signals. There was everybody else who like needed internet for like booths and stuff were hardwired in. It was bad. It was bad, Watsaku. The thing was too is they were oversold. Like all of the 3-day passes were sold out. The thing that sucked too was Saturday night, I lost my pass. I bought a 3-day pass. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And at some point when I was touring one of the artist alleys and I walked out, I realized my dongle, basically the card, Gaylord Baltimore is better than the Gaylord Texan. Hey, listen, wait a second. The hotel has Wi-Fi access. The convention hall did not. But yeah, because I complained about it when I got back. The Gaylords, if you've never heard of them, a lot of states have Gaylord hotels. They are really nice. They are big, fancy, really, really bougie hotels. I've been to the Gaylord Texan a couple times, not just for the convention. There's even a river walk inside the Gaylord Texan. If you've never been there, there's literally a artificial river that goes in like a circle around the inside of the atrium. But yeah, I lost my pass Saturday night and we tried to find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. I even ran into the owner, the man who's technically the leader of WeebCon. And he tried to help me find it. I couldn't go in because they were like setting up like a VIP area with the voice actors that were there. It was like a special premium event. And that was why we had to leave the artist alley. And so they sent employees in to try to find my artist alley. I went to Uwuland, where I was before, trying to buy merch for my friend Angel. Turns out they didn't put Angel's merch out until Sunday. They never put a single piece of Angel's merch out till Sunday. And I was fucking upset because Uwuland released a bunch of temporary fucking merch for a bunch of VTubers I like and know. And they were all circus themed. Every single one of them. They were all circus themed. And I couldn't get any of them because they either weren't put out or they were sold out Saturday night. Regardless, they didn't find my pass over there either. So I was screwed come Sunday. I couldn't come back. I couldn't go to any of the late night raves because you had to have your pass to get into the raves. So I just went home. I went home at like 9 p.m. And then the next morning I slept in. I just said, fuck it. I don't care. I slept in. Turns out there was a community member there that heard about my problem because I was texting it in my Discord. And him and the employees there tried to find me a new pass. And they did. They found a pass and they were like, we have it for you at the Lost and Found. I remember the reason I was also so devastated for losing that pass was because I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to mope about this. I'm just going to go have fun. And I started getting friends that were also VTubers to sign it. I got Gamer Goblin Gary. I was going to try to find Crimbo and like a bunch of other people and get them to sign it at the time. But then I lost it. I'd gone poof. And by that point, it was past 10 p.m. when somebody told me that they had found a key or a pass that if I showed up, it was mine. But at that point, there was only I think the con was only going to 2 on Sunday. So I was just like, thank you for your effort, but I'm not going to come back. I'm not going to come back. I'm going to go home. John St. John, Duke Nukem and his handler wandered into our room party, announced himself with the voice in a drunken stupor, stole a handle of her body. Amazing. Fucking amazing. Also, we got 3 minutes to ad breaks, and I got a fucking hangnail, dude. A hangnail, and I hate it. I hate it. But the most Duke thing. That is actually, if it was whiskey, it would have been the most Duke thing, but honestly, fantastic. Good shit, dude. Good. Why is Kong and Godzilla trending? Okay. Totally worth it. I mean, it sounds like it was worth it. That's a good convention moment to remember. But yeah, I had a terrible time at WeebCon. Luckily, I was staying with family because they lived in the area, so I didn't lose out on too much money. It was just I think it was $70 for my 3-day pass. It was the only expense that I had. I didn't buy anything while I was there. Except no, I didn't even buy a bottle of water. I constantly would go find water fountains and refill the bottle that I brought with me. Apologizing, it was awesome. But in my country, Cuck was trending earlier for some reason, so I don't know, Twitter just being wild. That is interesting to say the least. But hold on, I'm just checking some other things. Trying to see if there's anything interesting trending, but it doesn't seem like it. Everything is very it's all Ooh. Okay. There was nothing to apologize for, I bet. The handler. Should I make a Twitter? I feel like I'm missing out on a lot. I don't recommend it. If you don't have a Twitter, don't make one. The only reason I still have a Twitter is because I started a base on Twitter. And there's still so many people there. If I could, I would fucking leave. It'd be over. It'd be Jover. My Twitter would be gone. But right now, it's still necessary. It's still quite necessary. And currently, it's kind of the best place pre-stream for me to find some of the interesting stuff that's going on. Wait. Uma Musume single-handedly proving that it's how easy it is to create an amazing and popular game without sexualizing their characters and giving them really strange and unnecessary over-exaggerated jiggle physics? I was gonna say, wait a second. That's how you know they've never won a race, because those jiggle physics are clear as day when the Umas are waving to the crowd. That's true. That is very true. Especially if you're seeing the fucking end pan. Have you seen the victory run? Yeah. Since I built a page 10 years ago, and now it's at damn. No, I got rid of my Facebook a long time ago. I'm a terrible social media user because before I started streaming, I never posted. Absolutely fucking never. Oh. Wait. What the fuck is this? Okay, that was... I don't know what I just stumbled across. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what just happened. What the fuck? Okay. I still have my Twitter account, but it's just a ghost. I don't want people taking my handle and using it. I see. Okay, chat. I'm going to get you the screen. Hi, screen. Oh, darn it. I never clicked the Twitch button on words on stream. Okay. Load, damn you. All right, chat. I'm gonna be back in a second, mainly because I need to go snip some hangnails. So I'm gonna leave you out with the music and the game. I will be back shortly. Is it another really big gold ship? No, it wasn't Uma Musume. It was not Uma Musume. It came up as a topic because of a random post. It wasn't like a trending thing. All right, I'll be back. Sorry. Jesus. Shouldn't have unmuted as I was sitting down. I also bumped my fucking cup. Jesus. Everything's coming down. Everything's coming down. All right. Okay, we only got 10 seconds, so we'll go ahead and put that away. Bah, 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 bah. Okay. Glasses. Glasses. All right, so let me see here. Welcome back from the ad break, guys. Crash landing. The crash landing. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, pet review. Okay. Hold on a second. I was trying to see if... What the fuck? Sorry, I found something interesting. But... yeah... I was trying to see if... Pipe bomb! What the fuck is Flork posting? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. The Master Lock breaks the Master Lock? Is that a fucking lockpick legend reference? The Master Lock 99.5 can be opened with the Master Lock 99.5. Schmack. Oh boy, just got 2 ads for military and a soda, and then I had the word America in it 20 times. Huh? Did you get Navy posted? What happened? What the fuck happened? Are they recruiting again? Hold on. Oh. Ooh. Okay, that's somebody posting about their be at the gym struggling. I don't think I could do this. Wait, remembers that Harurama never gave up its new PR at the gym? Hell yeah, dude. So that's someone the other day when they said something that disproved their own statement and they looked at me like I was insane. Wait, which part? The master lock breaks the master lock? They didn't get it? They didn't get it? Can only be opened by your hands? Yeah, true. That's also true. Certain master locks can in fact just all right, doors open. The master lock breaks the master lock. Correct. It's always funny too watching those videos. I also like the ones that's like the guy that does the little like sequences and stuff where he basically shows no, that basically shows how damn it, I'm trying to remember. Anything can open the master lock. True. Ambition can open a master lock. If you buy the ones that are for like school lockers, thinking about unlocking those locks will unlock them. They're the LaCroix of locks. The only reason they stay locked is because no one has tried to unlock them yet. Saying please. This is the lockpick lawyer, and today we're opening Baron saved my what? My what? Save door? Safe door? Is that what you're thinking of? Well, my safe door doesn't have a lock. And it's... Never mind, y'all can figure that out. You can figure that on your own. Good luck. Good luck. But, God, is it the lock... It's not the lockpick lawyer who does the ones where he's like... He basically just shows how fast he can unlock things while also like chunking a what are those corner things? Like one of those corner measurement things. Hi Hectic, what trouble are you getting? Hectic, I had questions, but now I can't remember what they were. I had questions earlier today. Oh, for Mage, Hectic, for Mage. Stick with me on this one. Do you want me to get both life and mind for co-location shenanigans? That was my question. I was thinking about it at the gym and then I completely forgot to message you. I was like, maybe he wants me to get both life and minds for it to like work, for them to work separately, which makes sense. But I wanted to see if I could cheese it by having just mind. Getting into all the wrong places like a cartoon mouse. I don't know if Ordin gets into the wrong places. Well, if you count places where he can find more sharp objects, the wrong place, then yeah, sure. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I found a picture. I found a meme. I'm gonna put it in Discord. I'm gonna put it in the meme section in Discord. All right. It's fucking Hara Urara finding a pickle in her burger. And it's just mood down. Awful. Why do people not like pickles in their burger? I like pickles. They're crisp and tasty and salty. They're delicious. Pickle burger goob. The pickle. Wait, what was that one joke? The McPickle? Is that what it was? Is that what that old like meme McDonald's meme was? It was the McPickle and it's just like 2 buns. Wait, what the fuck is this person saying? Can someone honestly tell me what is stopping us from filling all this ocean with land and expanding the size of America? All right, hold on. Chat, I'm going to show you this picture. Are you ready for your IQ to drop a whole, like, probably 7 points? Because do you want to see the sheer area that this person is fucking trying to cover? Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to find the capture. There it is. All right, chat. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me the problem with this plan. Say we do try to expand the US. I guess out this way for whatever fucking reason. The absolute cojones is the Dutch thing. So is Japan. Japan does the same thing. Filling trenches. The thing, though, is they're not taking into account, one, the number of major cities that are along the ocean because it's a massive source of water and major trade networks. I guess they're just planning on completely filling in, like, all of these inlets and shit. Two, where the fuck are you going to get the volume of land to fill this in? Because the sheer, like, depth of the ocean here and volume, you might as well turn, like, the entirety of the Midwest into another ocean. Just steal from Europe. Egypt. Where's the water going to go? Also correct. If you filled all of that in, honestly, it would probably have a massive effect on global water levels. Who knows how many decades it would take to move all of the lands. I'm pretty sure this man does not understand exactly how much distance this is. How many millions of square miles? Okay, it's probably not millions. It's probably like less than a million, but probably like hundreds of thousands of square miles. I'd have to do some math. There's no, what's the word? There's no like measurement thing here. So wiping out several Pacific islands through, this is the Atlantic. This is the Atlantic Ocean. This doesn't include all of the inlets. Do you know what they've also circled here? Do you want to know what they've circled in this section? Chat, ready, listen to this for a second. They have circled the entirety of the US's fishing areas. 90+% of the fish and seafood that is picked up by the US East Coast is inside this dumb as shit little bubble that this shithead has drawn with crayon. Everything under the fucking sun is stopping us from expanding the land out here. Plus, stick with me on this, we don't fucking need to. There's no reason to. Why does he want more land? Manifest splash denier. Oh my god, make it a policy. He's wasted crayon, arrest him. More big land, good. Why? Why is it good? I promise you though, this idea of just build more land, stupid, comes from people with fucking lower than room temperature IQs that have no idea how physics fucking work. Physics, ecosystem, trade. There's infinite number of problems that you can't do this. You just can't. Here, let me see if I can find a map of Tokyo. Tokyo map through time. Like, you can see how much land they've like brought in and built over for Tokyo, and Tokyo is the largest city on the world. And these are only, stick with me on this, a few square miles of increased land. Let me see if we can find Manhattan. If we want to go American. That's It's cartography. I want the point where they were sinking ships in the bay and then putting land on top of it. 38 million people in Tokyo. Like, people are using Dubai as man-made islands as example. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's a fantastic idea. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and just, no, I want the bigger version. Open in maps. Oh, fantastic. Why didn't we think of that? Why didn't we just build artificial islands, you know, that are completely fucking useless? Say hello to the palm in Dubai, chat. Or maybe this one? That's still, oh, okay, no, this is just an error. This is just a loading error. This one's actually filled up, but the second one has already been discontinued. There's these islands out here. These are all like, are they owned by different countries? Why are these marked as different countries? Interesting, but it also doesn't seem like there's, yeah, these are literally just barren sandbars. Weird. But yeah. Dubai is not a, yeah, guys, let's just make a bunch of artificial islands. After all, Dubai is making such fantastic use of them. Barren. Practically barren, aside from a few like random things in here for some reason. Loading error, but this one's actually full. Barren. Basically fucking barren. And if you didn't know, they gave up on this. They're not furthering let me see. I'm pretty sure there was another one somewhere. Maybe not. You also have to remember, Dubai, most of it, the shit that's being built in Dubai is made by slave labor. Hawk twist skin, Fortnite balls? What? All right, somebody shoot 7-Eleven. Really big mirror city they wanted to build. The, is it the Cube? Was it the Cube? This one? No, this is Saudi Arabia. Okay. Is it the Line? Was that what it was? It the Line? Something like that? This one? That will probably also never fully take shape. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, I know about a lot of the mega projects. Insanity, dude. Fucking insanity. There's tons of projects like this that people like to propose all the time. But the thing is they pitch it as some sort of like perfect like mega project of like mixed living that like people who live here won't have to go anywhere else. So they'll only like want to stay here. That sounds horrifying. That sounds horrifying. Horrifying. just all right, guys, we're building things that are worse than fucking mega buildings. No, we didn't. I did not turn it down. I'm sorry, Sensar. Like something that draws in tourism and he wants to get rid of them for that dumb idea? Correct. Mega city. Well, these are the mega buildings that are essentially from like a lot of sci-fi, but these are ones specifically from 2077. If we go back, way back, if I just put in like mega projects, then we'll get like whatever the fuck this is. Most of these are going to be, okay. Some of these are going to be made. Most of these are going to be concepts. I'm trying to find some of the other ones that I recognize. The thing is with only leaving, let's do mega project buildings. trying to see. Well, of course, there's the line again. Oh, the moon. This is another one that they want to build in Dubai called the Moon, where they're essentially planning on making, let me see. It's supposed to be like a resort this shit. There's only concepts. There's only concepts of this existing. Oh, here's where it was supposed to be. And I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking, chat. This is official fucking like art. This was made by the actual designers. They use the same like shitty Photoshop mishmash nonsense going on here. Here's another one. Here's another one. The location changes with almost nearly every single update. I wanted to see if I could find the interior. Here it is. This is what it's supposed to be like on the inside. There's no external light coming in, apparently. Moonsphere, inside is going to be shuttle station, mechanical club floor. Over 2,000 hotel suites are going to be inside the moon. Living green wall, whatever that means. Piazza, hotel lobby, restaurants, boutiques, event centers, concourse, show theater concourse, nightclubs, discovery center, arena concourse, global meeting place, shuttle station, casino, merchandising, and business center. One floor down, more meeting spaces, ballrooms, restaurants, spa and wellness, event center, global meeting places, kids and teen zone, arena floor, show theater floor, and business center. More convention center, a loading dock, beach club, lagoon. Lagoon? Sports, multifunction areas, aquatic center, lounges, greenscape, and amphitheater, restaurants, walkways, more walkways, multifunctional space, green space, pathway or road. But yeah, this is the only thing that's the interior for this project. That moon lagoon. It's for lagooning. Listen, we talked about this, chat. There's only one kind of goon we do in here. You should know what that is by this point. What do you say? What do you say, chat? Thank you, Ordain. Thank you. Yes, boss. Thank you, boss. Whatever you say, boss. I'm proud of you. Can I get a counter on the goon counter? All right. But yeah, I got confused by this because I was scrolling past it and I was like, die. Hold on, I want to see the comments. Continental shelf and existing ecosystems mostly. Are we short of land in America? Last I drove 15 plus hours across the mostly empty state of Texas. It didn't seem that way. Yeah, Texas is mostly empty. 10,000 Palm Jamiras instead. Wow, buddy. This is amazing. This is an amazing example of what you could put on the coast for artificial islands. If only it wasn't a goddamn 3D render. Oh yeah, this guy also makes the point. They built the islands and they're sinking already. They're less than 10 years old and they're sinking. I forgot to mention that earlier. But yeah, where does the land come from? Coastal elite NIMBYs? Fuck are NIMBYs? See how it goes from light blue to dark blue? The majority blue part is very deep. The majority of what you outlined is 6,000 meters underwater. You could level the entire Appalachian Mountains range to sea level and not even begin to make a dent. Correct. Even Flavoland isn't sinking? Flavolands? Florida? Is that what you're talking about? Isn't the tide just washing them away? That's the same as sinking. When the level of land is slowly being whittled down by either erosion or wind or anything of the sort, and it is lowering, that is sinking below the waves. It's also the idea that they use mostly sand, so it's also kind of evening out over the area. Is what we call the land we made. Oh. Wow. Wow. Damn. See, the Dutch get it. Just make it right at ocean level. But the Dutch are also in an area where the expectation of massive coastal water movements is not really expected. You're very unlikely to get a tsunami in the fucking North Sea. We know what to do? That's true. It's technically how the entire civilization of Central Europe was basically created. The earliest, like, what was it? The earliest, not quite, I don't think settlers are the words. Native people of the Netherlands essentially very quickly learned how to use the water. You dig ditches, losers. Just dig ditches. A Dutchman bearing water pumps. Does it, hold on, does it look like this? Is this a Dutchman carrying a water pump? Is this a butterfly chat? Is this a Dutchman carrying a water pump? Okay, that's good. Put the goofy shit away. Put the goofy shit away until I see something else that's horrifying. Unionize and demand the rainbow pinstripe suits promised to us since Pride goons rise up. Also, health insurance would be nice, boss. I can't even afford health insurance for myself. I use windmills. I mean, kind of, but no, I'm in for irrigation. That's how Judge Dredd starts. Turns out Uma Musume is doing so well that they got a KFC crossover with an ad featuring one of the horse girls dressed as Colonel Sanders. Even get, wait, what? Uma Musume KFC. No. Oh my god, it's Gold Ship. Oh my god, it's Gold Ship with a mustache and everything. To eat or buy KFC, amazing. It's a Hort East chicken world. Do not fry the horses. Nah, it's Gold Ship carrying like, hold on, how many buckets of chicken was that? 5 buckets of KFC chicken. I think the most unrealistic thing about this, though, is based on the way on how high the buckets sit that she has. Those buckets are full to the brim and still have like the paper cover on them, which KFC never does. Never once have I had a KFC chicken bucket be full. If you get like more than like a certain amount and it gets like half full, they'll just get a second bucket and start putting the chicken in there. All right, hold on. I want to see what. Oh, there's an Uma Musume box. KFC and Uma Musume collaborated on Won't You Have Kentucky with Uma Musume today. Special set will be on sale. Stores nationwide will be offering a special set in collaboration with Uma Musume Pretty Derby, herein referred to as Uma Musume special set in collaboration. Special set will become available exclusively on KFC net order from August. Oh wait, no, this is from last year. This is from last year. This is Japan last year, I'm guessing. Where's what? Saganak? China, not, no, this is Japan. This is definitely Japan. Okay. This was last year. Has still failed to recognize the anime horse girl anime. What do you mean? Hey, listen, I keep seeing art of like jockeys, trainers, and like a bunch of other characters, or a bunch of other people getting like art and stuff of the horses they trained or raised or rode or anything of the sort. Oh, KFC is really big in a lot of the like northern all the way down to Southeast Asian countries because its quality is better. But oh, there was a whole, what do you call these? I have merch of this. What are these called? The plexiglass, like standees. That's it, the standees. There's like a whole bunch of them. Jesus. El Paso is in here. El Condor. David Watsuki, chicken jockey. Shut up! It's banned in the Netherlands because of gambling. Wait, Uma Musume is? There's no gambling in Uma Musume. Is it because it's horse racing? Maybe it's because it's horse racing and that usually intrinsically comes with gambling. All purchasers of the collaboration pack will receive a limited support card and 2 recovery items for use in the game. Huh. It has Gold Ship in the background dressed up completely like the Colonel. And a biscuit with honey on top. KFC biscuits. That's cute. The US would never do fucking like anime crossovers. What the fuck is this?
I can fix him!
Give me the fucking formula, crap!
Daddy! Wait, I can fix him!
Give me the fucking formula, crap!
Why was I so caught off guard by that? Hold on, chat. I'm gonna show you this because it's so fucking funny to my little pea brain right now. Look at this dude. So let me click play.
Daddy! Wait, I can fix him!
Give me the fucking formula, crap!
Daddy! Wait, I can fix him!
Give me the fucking formula, crap!
That's it. I just want to play it twice. Why is that so fucking funny, dude? Why is that so fucking funny? I found one where it's an animated model of Gold Ship Colonel Sanders promoting a new KFC bucket. He'll put it in the media share. Good. Eugene. Wait, is his middle name actually Harold? I forgot if it is. I know his first name's Eugene. But, I'm trying to see if there's anything else. But also, chat, how many of you have seen the art of like the Uma Musume girls? But it's basically horse girls, but they're actually the size of a horse. And Pizza Hut have done anime collabs promotion stateside. Really? Pizza Hut anime collab US. Genshin. Tamagotchi. Akatsu? What is Akatsu? Blue Archive. Cardcaptor Sakura. But I'm not finding anything that says that these are all... Yeah, that's Japan. That's literally in Japanese. That's also literally in Japanese. McDonald's. Collabs. Jujutsu Kaisen, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Dragon Ball Daima. McDonald's Corporate. Wait, no, this is Welcome to WickDonald's. Oh, this is because their collaboration with The Devil is a Part-Timer. I forgot about that. That was literally last year. Welcome to WickDonald's. Katsu's breaded pork patty. Okay, I do know about the Dodgers, Watsuku. I do know about the Dodgers. Didn't Gura sing the national anthem at one of the games? SpongeBob character is Lord Royal Highness, the King of Atlantis, because he's voiced by David motherfucking Bowie. Wait, he was? Wait. Which King of Atlantis? The one from the movie? Or the one from the TV series? The bald one or the one that does the burger challenge against SpongeBob? Oh, you're right. It was Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You're right. It was Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Salsa packs a punch. Wait, none of these characters are from the first ever official WickDonald's anime. What? 4 episodic shorts will take fans to the flavorful world of WickDonald's. There's a story about the WickDonald's sauce and Wick Nuggets unfold each week. Okay, what are the episodes called? The Race of McDonald's, Love from Across the Booth, Wick Nuggets, Space Frontier 3000, The Wisdom of the Sauce. I hate it here. I hate it here. I want to die. Atlantis Square Pantis? Atlantis Square Pantis? What is that one? Oh, okay. I remember this one with the weird blue dude. Wait, he was David Bowie? Was he? Hee Clancy. Oh my god, he was. Wow. I did not realize that. But now when I look at the characters that now, it's like, oh, that was David Bowie? That makes sense. Never mind, carry on. Is Grimace and Mayor McCheese there? Please no. Please no. I'm not gonna look. But yeah, I guess. Chat, do you remember the McDonald's commercials, like the Japanese McDonald's commercials where they actually put like effort into having a, what was it? They don't do like a full thing, but it became like a new mascot. That like high effort anime one, the cute little anime couple? No. No. The one that was like crazy high effort. The Robble Hamburglar? Oh my god, Robble. Okay. Chat, do you think I've lollygagged enough? You think I have done sufficient distracting? Oh my god. Why am I who's retweeting these? Oh, I see who's retweeting them. Never mind. It's like, why are there so many of the horse-sized horse girls in my fucking feed right now? You could probably yap for another 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes? Heck, listen, I've yapped, and emphasis on yapping because we've gotten fucking nowhere. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, I'm totally not trying to avoid playing Resident Evil 1 because I'm not looking forward to how the camera and shit works. Oh, goodness. But, fuck. Oh, hiccups. I would never forestall, stall, yap, procrastinate. No idea what you're talking about. Never. I totally want to play Resident Evil 1.
Can someone pick that up, please? It's bothering me.
Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh, he's the DBD voice actor. Okay, I got it. That makes sense. Oh no. Somebody made a green screen version of Goldship kicking the shit out of people. Oh no. Get in the car, you're going to Raccoon City? This one doesn't take place in Raccoon City. Yeah, Resident Evil 1 doesn't take place in Raccoon City. It takes place in Castle? What the fuck did I just see? Oh, it's Panty and Stocking. Oh. Okay. I see. We're going to Spencer Manor, your pleb. Yeah, Spencer Manor. You know. Of the Spencer umbrella. All right. Enough lollygagging. Let me go ahead and put this away. Because we are literally just stalling. That was 2 hours of, like, no substance. Let me see if I can set this up. Because I don't think I've launched this game at all. Well, no, it says I have 12 hours of play. Okay, it opened in windowed mode, so give me a second. Uh-oh. I do need to change the audio settings real quick, though. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, hold on. I may have to close the game and reopen it because I changed the audio, but it's still just on system for some reason. But first I want to do some of the like display changes. Wide. No, this is fine. Can I not make it bigger? What the fuck? Brightness, audio, video settings? Ah, there we go. 1920 by 1080. Okay. Okay, that's a little better. No idea what you mean. Usual yap time. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, now we should be able to swing over. Okay, where are you? There you are. Category change time. This is, yeah, 2014 version. Okay. But, okay, yeah, it's not putting the, let me go back. I'm gonna have to close the game and reopen it. Quit. Do I need to use controller for this? I hope I don't have to use controller for this. I just got the 18 plus warning, yeah, because we just swapped the category to a mature game. It does that. It does that when Twitch recognizes that the game is like mature rating. I'm sure that's fine. All right. All right. I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this. Oh, we can get rid of the glasses. Okay. Fuck off. Load game. No data. Okay. It just always puts that there. Resident Evil. I don't know what the differences are. Why was it on alternate by default? How can I check what the alternate is? Okay. How do you like games? Like climbing a mountain, fulfilling but takes a lot of work. Like going on a hike, good exercise but not too strenuous. Like taking a walk, you can relax and enjoy yourself. Y'all are gonna yell at me if I play this game on easy mode, aren't you? Because the original's tank controls, I think. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know this game is on like tank controls with fixed camera, which is why I'm not exceedingly excited to play it. Because I really don't like those kinds of controls. Coward! Coward! Chad, are you gonna yell at me if I play on easy mode? Is anybody besides Ordained gonna yell at me? You're trained in a lot of evil residents. Who needs easy? Okay, fine. Ignore the haters. Okay. All right. Obviously, wait, what? Oh my God. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, BSAA outfit? Hell yeah. Fuck your weird shoulder pads. Yeah. Grim told me apparently this is actually easier than doing Chris's, I guess. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. All right, where's Mr. Handsome?
Alpha team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City.
Okay, we are technically outside Raccoon City. That's fair. Never mind. You had us on that one. You were correct.
Disappeared during the
Whoever called Raccoon City was technically partially correct.
Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred.
Keep lower it down to kid mode. I'm scared.
Outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims.
God, I would almost rather wait until we moved and play this on like a CRTV setup with a
Bravo
camera.
team was sent in to investigate, but we lost contact.
Look, Chris.
I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about there.
Bravo team's helicopter was a derelict.
Okay. Wait, what is that? Oh, is that just blood?
Remaining body of Kevin.
Not Kevin! Hey, who's that handsome devil?
Search for the other
Look at
members,
that dude!
and it turned into a nightmare.
Wait, what do you mean, Ordain? Has Martin get bricked? Oh no. Here, do I need to turn it up a little bit for y'all? Turn it up a little bit more. That's not the outfit I picked. Unacceptable. This is a remake of a game from 2002. I'm upset that they didn't put the outfit I chose in as the, I'm sure that's fine. In the pre-rendered cutscenes? Unacceptable. Me streaming coward? Oh no, I wasn't upset about it at all. Also, Ed, thank you for the 3 streams straight. Boop. Boop. Wonder what those are. Jill, come on, quit staring. Quit staring, Jill. Is she technically a rookie at this point? Girl, you know that gun's empty. You just staring. Thanks, Wesker. Oh no, wait, that's Chris. Thanks, Chris. Hoof it. God, the fucking running animations, dude. No, we didn't get our custom character. That's the most upsetting part.
Hey, Brad! Where the hell's he going?
Where did their helicopter land earlier too?
Chris, this way.
Let's go. Wesker Papa.
Damn it! Make for that mansion!
Jill, you still have not reloaded. Take the shot, Jill. She hasn't reloaded. Enter the survival horror. What the fuck?
There are only 3 STARS members left now.
There was at
Captain
least
Wesker,
5 of us in that group. What do you
and
mean?
myself. We don't know where Chris is.
Huh?
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
See, now we get those
Wesker,
super cool
where's
BSAA
Chris?
outfits.
Jill, no. You don't want to go back out there.
But we've got to find...
Wesker still
What was
just as
that?
cool, calm, and collected as before.
Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
Wow, Jill, you acted the shit out of
going
that
with
line. No.
Chris and I go back a long way.
All right. You two go.
God, the fucking
I'll secure
camera
this
work for
area.
these cutscenes.
Stay sharp.
Why are those doorknobs so fucking huge? Jesus, that is a serious revolver. Oh my god.
A dining.
You've heard of a Colt 45. How about Colt 4500? Oh, and this is where I get control? Oh, hello. Okay, it's F to interact. Hold on, let me check controls. Reload, F. Of course, right click is aim, quarter for 180 turn, or Q for 180 turn. Okay, I like the alternate. I like the alternate. Defensive items automatically or manually when you were attacked? Manually. Okay, so E is defensive item. Wait, I don't think I... Yeah, I didn't save that. Okay. Okay. Hello? Yeah, this is way better than tank controls.
I think you'd better take a look at this.
What is it?
Good lord, the voice acting.
Blood.
Oh no, I
Jill,
forgot. I forgot yesterday. I'll try to listen to it after stream today. I'll try to take a swing at it later.
Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
Jill sandwich? What do you mean Jill sandwich? Hold on, I want to go back the other direction. A picture of two knights striking each other. How do I enter? Sword has been thrust into the breast of one knight while the long sword has pierced the head of the other. Jesus. When the two have run each other through, the path to your destiny will open. So hold on. Can I not like... So... Red has been stabbed through the head. And green was stabbed through the chest. Maybe that's important. Hold on. Does interacting with this... Oh, typewriter. You can save your progress. Wait, it uses ink ribbons to save? Crazy. Might as well. Just so that we have at least one save. Okay. Thing is, I can't quite figure out... Wait, can I interact with that face? No, does the camera... A large filth-encrusted jar. Darn. Oh. Okay, I was going this way. Hello? Hello? Okay, the fucking interactions already feel kinda clunky. A consumable resource? Yeah, apparently. Emblem of armor's carved in the lock? Okay, armor. Ah! Yeah, that'll do it. I was gonna say, one of these corners is gonna have bad things. I know it is. Like, she doesn't have a gun right there. True. Oh, hi. Uh-oh. Turn back. Oh, no. I feel like I just went through all my ammo, but okay. He's holding something. Oh, thank God. Oh, no, it's a video player. Something's... Oh, he got up again. Oh. First kills are special. Okay, I finally got an achievement. I can't even see the whole achievement because of how it's like set up right now. Oh. Oh. Okay. But I want to go check this way. Oh, Jesus. Elevator. Doesn't look like you can access it from this floor. Shit. We're not gonna go that way. Oh my god. I also instantly have to change. The door was here, right? How many of those hits thanks to shit-ass camera angles and the inability to properly aim?
Barry!
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
But I killed him!
Let me take care of it.
Wow. Wow, Barry, you're so cool. Barry, he's right in front of you. You do not need to take aim again. What did I just use all that ammo for?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Okay. Damn, I didn't need to fight him. Oh, jeez, I got the camera. Oh, I don't like this camera. I don't like this camera at all. What the fuck was that? One zombie the whole game? It's just gonna be this the one zombie the whole game? No! Oh, yes.
Jill.
Mr. Cool and Conniving has disappeared.
Good idea.
He said, let's not leave this hall? Okay, I'll wait here then. Is this the game? Do I just wait here? Is this it? Trying to see if there's anything else I can interact with. Can I interact with a Chinese urn? Open the door. Searching the hall first. Ugh. Oh, there's a staircase going down too. Oh no. Jesus, is that? Oh no, that's a door? Also, the way her ponytail is just kind of flapping behind her. Okay, I don't need to interact with any of the doors. Oh, Jesus. What are you? Can I look at this painting? Oil painting at large, it's been well preserved and people in it are still vividly depicted. Can't make anything out through the darkness and fog. Oil painting. Sadly, this isn't going to be like the police station where, like, I kind of learned the layout, I think, of this house very early on. Wait, was there something in the middle section up here that I may have missed? No, doesn't look like it. Okay, then. Oh, that's it.
Any luck, Jill?
Just had to look around.
Nothing. What's going on around here?
He's off
I can't
soloing the whole
figure it
mansion.
out.
Pretty fucking much.
Same here.
Chris and now Wesker.
If you know the
There's not much we
lore,
can do.
pretty much. You were not
Search
wrong.
rooms separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay, then. I'll try the door on the other side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. Let's start from the first floor.
Okay.
Oh, I almost forgot.
The aim, though, for this game is so goofy.
You'd make better use of it.
A lockpick. Is it consumable or do I get it forever?
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. Got it?
Okay.
Something tells me you don't live through this. I have a distinct feeling like you don't live through this. Okay, is it time to snoop? I'm going to snoop at the first large door I find. Oh. Can I? Or just photograph decorate the wall. It looks like they could come to life at any moment. I don't like that wording. Something's also sparkling up there. Dresser? Oh, I still see it up there. I see you up there. How do I get to you? Wait, can I take you? Can I pull you? Okay, so that's how you get up on it. Nope. Take you, push you a little bit again. Out here. And then... Can I get behind you? Nice. Think that's close enough? There's a map of mansion floor 1. Take it. Hell yeah, take it. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. So at least it actually does tell me, like, areas I've completed and stuff. So at least that's good. Person was connected to the mansion somehow. Okay, we'll just go this way. Oh. Hello? Hello? Eerie pictures of the mansion. Okay. Okay, I'm getting nervous. Oh, ad break. Okay, I'm sorry. I missed that, chat. Nobody dink-donked me. Nobody dink-donked me. All right, we'll mute the game and I'll bring the music back up, but I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere. Chat, are you doing okay? I'm getting nervous. Thing is, though, is I'm just kind of waiting until I get fucking jump scared by the dogs, because I know I fucking will. Because I know I fucking will. Am here. Hi, Fable. Oh, let me check something. Why do I have... Okay, nothing important. Nothing important. Were you talking, Lucian, were you talking about the, when I was trying to aim? The thing was, it looked like most of them hit him because there was like kind of blood jumping off of him and he would like jolt when you hit him. Thing is, I kind of hope that I don't think I was supposed to kill him. I think I was supposed to run away from him. Here, let me see what that achievement said because I couldn't read what its requirement was. Oh, first kills are specials. Defeat a zombie. That's it. 76% of players have this achievement. Where's the other 24? What? What? I'm scared. It's okay. I'm scared too. Mainly because I really don't like the shooting scheme in this game. Granted, if this was us deciding to play the Resident Evil 3 remake, I'd be a little more gung-ho for it. But because this one is locked camera and tank controls, tank-ish controls, it's still kind of... Isn't it based on ownership? Yeah. That just means, though, that like 24% of people own the game but have never played it. Probably. I'm gonna say you'd have to get a first kill at some point, right? There's boss fights in this game, isn't there? I'm pretty sure there is. All right. No. Game audio. All right, what are you? A sword? A dagger? Oh. Emergency evade. When using defensive items such as daggers will allow you to escape momentarily when grabbed by an enemy. However, you'll not be able to escape when the enemy grabs you from behind. Go to the status screen, select an item from the defensive item menu, then select equip command. You must press E to use the defensive item. Hold on, what the hell is the button to open the status in? Automatically. Wait, what is this other one? Oh, a taser. Okay. Wait, what all do we have right now? We have the ink ribbons. Okay, we also had the survival knife, but that's fine. I think. Oh, okay, I see. So we only got 4 bullets on our gun. Hello? Seriously? Why are y'all so big? Stab him. Emblem of the sword. I only got one bullet. Everybody knows you save one bullet for yourself. Anyway. Okay, so. Come on, buddy. I'll play the waiting game. I like this angle way better than trying to fight you in that hallway. Okay, there he is. I was gonna say, I think he's coming. Alright, come on, boss man. God damn it. God damn it. I was trying to stab him. Die. 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 God damn it. I'm holding a survival knife. Why does that not count as a survival weapon? Oh my god, this thing does nothing. Okay, thank god. Can I get... I can't get my things back? I can't get the defensive item back? Okay, so we don't have something for that. So let's go back out here. But they're not what you would expect? So is it possible to go through this game without killing something? Helmet, armor, and sword. What's down here? Hello. I don't want to go down there no more. Okay. Fuck it. We'll go back the way we came. I'm kind of curious what you mean by the boss fights are not what you expect. Here, let's do this. Just because we have so much extra right now, or at least we have another extra. I'll do the at least the have two saves method. Okay. Yep, shit. There wasn't a thing over here, right? No, that's just a corner. Ghost run for Resident Evil 1? I don't know. Is that possible? Can you even do that? There's no... I don't think there's a dodge button, is there? Right? There's not a dodge. Run, 180. Yeah, there's no dodge. It's also very weird that you have to right-click. Okay, that's attacking up. I can't tell if that's I think that's an ashtray. Okay, so now these doors will open. Has me all kinds of oh. Wait, what was that? Hello? Oh, I see you. There's ammo there. Hell yeah, dude. 15! Sold. Sold. I have to aim and then reload. Give me that. Give me that. Okay. And then can I combine in this game? Yes, excellent. Excellent. Anyway, anyway. Now, what did I just see over here a second ago? Ah, yes. A person in shackles. Oh. There's a corpse collapsed on the floor like it was an instant death. What the hell happened in this mansion? Wait, can I like examine a dead raven inside? Okay. Oh, Jesus. Jesus! If something comes in that window, I'm gonna blame you, chat. Completely and utterly. Hello? Does this thing still count as floor 1? Oh. You'll see that, right? Shut up. Is he in the blind? Y'all see him in the mirror, right? Shut up. Shut up. Oh, hey, there's 2 of them. I am 99% confident that I'm gonna walk past this guy and he's going to stand up. I don't like this. I don't like this. Because I don't feel confident in this game. If I was playing like one of the regular like FPS, or well, like at least like shooter versions than this, I would feel a lot better moving forward. That dude's totally gonna get up. So how evil is the residence? Fucking extremely. I hate this place. Oh, nice. Death is only the beginning. Oh. That thing looks like it's gonna move. Even if its rail system doesn't make much sense. True essence of bliss. Okay, what do? Do I just hoof it? Is that the plan? Hold on, let me get the camera to switch back because there was a different... I can't tell, but I think there's a space behind the statue. Tried to bite me and another shot me. Who tried to shoot me? 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Okay, hoof it. Ah, yes, I see. Oh, boy. Ah, fuck. Oh. There it is. I'm dead. I don't get it. Get used to it? Wow. Wow, achievement unlocked. Get used to it. Oh, fuck. All right. When the achievement sass you, classic. Classic. All right. Let's go get our shit again. The Dark Soap one. Welcome to Dark Souls. Shut up. It was this way. Okay. There's gotta be something we can do there. That mansion key's gotta be, like, crucial. At least it feels crucial. Please also be 15 again. Oh, thank God. Okay, maybe there's something else we can figure out if we go around the other direction. But also, in. Okay. Go get the herbs that are up here. Oh, Jesus. The herbs that are up here. And then I guess we're going to the side where there's obviously that one dude moaning at me. How's being in an evil billionaire's mansion? Awful. Everything about this is terrible. This dude's totally gonna get up at some point. I know he is. Okay, so he moves. So there is a dude standing there. Fucking knew it. Fuck you, dude. Not missed. Oh, someone's dead. Okay. Right, when the blood comes out, it means they're dead. Why is that sparkling? That looks awful. And there was something sparkling on the... Looks like a knife on the wall up ahead. Give me that one extra bullet. Golden arrow. The status screen, select an item and select the examine command. The details of the item will be displayed. What is the tip? Is it a key? It looks almost like a key. Not counting the tip, but like the part that's usually the filigree. Hi, Verano. How are you doing? Oh, looks like it can be removed. How did I come to that conclusion? I just clicked enter. Is made from peridot, something referred to as a poor man's emerald. Okay. I'm also gonna go ahead and combine these. Okay. And then give me that ammo. I like the carpet on the wall. Locked from the other side. I unlocked it. How did I unlock it? There's probably something that we're gonna find for this arrowhead somewhere. Oh, hey. Here, come on, bud. Come all the way around. It's fine. Okay, we're over the dining room that we were in. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, those are the knights down there. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, it looks like the blood is what like shows that it's down and out. So we'll go this way. Oh, hello. Don't mind if I do. Hold on. Let's check this other door. I'm having flashbacks to the fucking balcony inside the police station right now. An emblem of a sword. That's the second sword one we've seen. Is ooh, hello. Don't mind if I do, ma'am. Gimme. Oh, do I need to do this? Curse you, camera changes. Oh, nope, stop. God damn it. All right, we'll go get that later. Was there a door over here? I don't think there was. I think this is just outside on this wall, basically. That would make sense. This would be the main hall. The second sword has hit the paper. Oh no. Oh no. All right, let's go downstairs and we can go get that gem. Okay. Power of God and this key you found? Yeah, apparently. Sheer will, my dude. Sheer will. Give me the jewel. Blue gemstone. No idea what you're for. Chat, I'm gonna make the mistake. Do I save right now? I kind of want to save right now. Why is there a limited save system in this game? Why did they do this? I have to actually like think really hard about being able to save. I wanna, because I don't want to go through all that again. For evil? Of course for evil. Okay, we're gonna go back upstairs. And then maybe now we'll check that second door that was up there. Actually, hold on. Map. Well, that's a dead-end room. Let's actually go check that. We'll go check that. It goes in the blue gemstone slot, silly. Of course, the blue gemstone slot I haven't found yet. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. All right. I still swear this is something. It feels like... Is there any way to skip? If I go look in the settings, is there a way to skip the door animations? Please? Can I skip them? I don't think it's going to be under display. Ugh. They're going to get tedious so fast. That one I know was locked. There was the elevator here. Oh. That's right. Locked. An emblem of a sword. Another sword door. Okay. Oh. The fuck is Brownwood? Go away, Amber Alert! Jesus! Stop! Oh my god. You know you're typically supposed to just be able to like slide to the side to get Amber Alerts and shit to go away? Doesn't fucking work on my phone for some reason. Yeah, even though the phone I use for tracking doesn't have a phone plan on it, I still get fucking Amber Alerts on it. No, those are load-bearing? Oh no, Spencer's Gifts. I mean mansion. Mansion. Okay. All right, we're gonna go check another direction. So... we're still missing something here, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with that clock. So let's go check out some other areas. Wait a second. Wait, go back. I want that camera angle again. Does Jill have boob bounce? Y'all see that, right? It's very slight. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just seeing it. Jill sandwich basties? What? What do you mean Jill sandwich? All right, hold on. So I'm pretty sure the red ones are telling me that those are doors that are locked. Okay, we'll probably have to end up going upstairs, but we don't have a second floor map right now. Yeah, that was a helmet door. Technically we searched everything we could here. Let me actually double check though. I'm pretty sure the red means the door's locked, but I'm fine with just checking. Jill sandwich, the best sandwich this side of the mansion? That... Hi, buddy. Okay, yeah, it was locked. That was one of the other sword doors. Our government thing that supersedes phone companies? True. True. All right, we're gonna have to go upstairs. Now we'll actually go check that other door we left over here. Well, there's this little door, but it doesn't make sense that this would go somewhere separate. At least I don't think so. All right. This way. This first door was the hall that we came in from. Locked. Of course it is. Ah, sword door. Oh, wait, they just gave us the map for it? Okay, then. Let's go check some other parts, then. I thought it only gave us the first floor. I didn't realize we had the other maps, too. What do you mean, kidnapped child? No kidnapping children. I was gonna say, all of these are gonna be armor. These were red, so I'm sure all of these are gonna be locked. Oh. Okay. Like this. Are we? Yeah, we're definitely back outside. Wow, it is fucking dark. Hello? Locked from the other side. Of course it is! Something's over there, though. Okay, hold on. Is there a way? Looking to see if that bent piece of metal was useful, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, let's just go forward. Hello? Cupid? Oh. God, these camera angles, man. Ah, there we go. How do I just... use? Okay, hold on. We're gonna go kind of check this side area over here first. I see something right there. Shotgun shells. Don't mind if I do. Haven't found a shotgun yet, but okay. Oh. Hello? Where's that light come? Actually, can I check where that light's coming from? I don't want to go like sprinting down areas because I can't see shit. Jesus. Why are these all written in Greek? Stone statue with the hole where the eyes should be. Stone statue with holes where the eyes, nose, and mouth should be. Hole where the nose should be. Hole where the mouth should be. But what is this machine turning? Oh. We're just gonna go. Not here? Hello? Fuck, dude. Fuck. A book that fitted perfectly in an indentation. Don't want to take the book. Don't want to take the book. Humble Home Depot shotgun shell versus the Regal fully loaded M1911. Fuck, dude. I have to take it, right? I'm obligated to take it. We will soon, Baron. We will soon. What do you mean we will soon? Okay, bye. Okay, let's... Wrong button. In, not M. Examine. Hell yeah, give me that key. Mansion key! Ooh. Book of Curses. The four masks, a mask that speaks no evil, a mask that smells no evil, and a mask that sees no evil. A mask that cannot speak, smell, or see evil. When all four fall into place, evil will awaken. Okay, bye. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, so we got a key. So here, can I check in? I keep wanting to hit I. Ah, it's the sword key. And you know what's worse is we don't have a save to go use. Man. Okay. What's stopping an eccentric more billionaire from putting a DIY shotgun trap behind every door in his mountain mansion? Blowing himself away? Probably. Probably the number one reason. Okay. So... Kind of funny that this says that it's locked from this angle. I don't know why it says that. How's gaming going? I'm stressed. I guess it's one of those things everyone would have assumed. Well, yeah, considering being a horror streamer. Okay. I know we still do know that there's one in the attic, but I don't know how to get past the, like the wall. Fair sculpt. Goodness. Sculptures and bents. This better not be what I think it is. God damn it. Okay, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's fine. Fuck, I feel like this is gonna be the fucking hallway that gets me. We are not looking out that window. Let me use the door, please and thank you. I feel like that's something I wouldn't forget, but fair. Outside section. Oh, lockpick. Neato. Okay, then. That's fine, I'm sure. I'm sure that's totally fine. Oh, dear Lord. Well, then. Wrong button. In. Can I combine more? Nice. Oh, it won't even let me try to like combine them from outside my inventory. Any have kerosene left? Damn it. Okay. I don't want to waste some of the bullets. Also, I'm assuming that me grabbing the dog's attention like that is going to have them coming through the fucking windows. I'm kind of half assuming that that is what will happen. Ooh, okay, that camera change kind of scared me for a second. Welcome to the bathroom. What are you? Full of dirty water. Remove the plug. Yes. It's a cutscene. I'm sure this won't go horrible. Head, head, head. God damn it, dude. Jill, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, thank God. Why couldn't we do that earlier? Doesn't look like it's been serviced in a while. Uh-oh. Oh, hey. Multiple daggers. Wait, do I have a okay, I do have a defensive item equipped. They do just kind of stack. Okay, then. Welcome to the bathroom. We've got fun and games. Oh, no. Not welcome to the jungle. Just heard a noise, too. Hello? Hello? Wait, what was that? Oh, I thought I saw something on the counter. I was wrong. Okay, we'll try to go left. Now right. Sorry, chat. I have a bad habit of these games of almost constantly checking maps. I know that symbol. Yeah. I don't like these rooms because they don't make any sense. Also can't interact with them, which makes it even weirder. More knives! And again, no saves. What are you? Traces of something burnt here. An acrid smell permeates the air. Picture sand, bronze statues. There's nothing of interest. Okay. Oh, there's save stuff. Okay, hold on. Wait, what is that on the... Hey! Ah, shit. Okay, hold on. We don't have any space. So... Oh, shit. Can I combine them for 4? Or does it only go up to 3? Shit. Shit! What do I do? You can't carry a shotgun. Fuck, dude. These are 2 of the most important things that we need. Also, what is going on with this painting on the side? We did use the key. Well, we haven't used them on all the doors. We'd have to come all the way back. We'd have to go use all the sword doors and then come all the way back. I could like pop off like 3 bullets and then we'd be fine. We could take the shotgun. Just uploaded some fan art to Discord whenever you want to look. Ooh, okay. I want to see. Ooh, Sony Byzanti. Holy shit. Ooh. Did you draw me as Jill? Amazing. Fucking amazing. Can I use that for a thumbnail next time we play this? Is that all right, Ed? Can I use that for a thumbnail? All right. I think I'm gonna have to give up on... I feel like I absolutely need the save, so I'm just gonna... Fuck it. Give me the save. Okay, gave us 3. Just chat, don't let me forget the shotguns here. So this is that room. Maybe if we keep going too, we'll be able to find a different typewriter. How many typewriters are in this game? Do y'all know? Why did that not go back to like the sky, the looking down camera? Like it did when we first walked in. Oh, it's right over here. Not the double doors. More than 2? God, I fucking hope so. Hello? Fucking see you standing there. I'm not going in there. Ooh. Okay, hold on. That goes down. Yeah, buddy, I know you're there. Why does she look so scared? Ma'am, aren't you supposed to be part of STARS? Aren't you supposed to be an elite task force? She looks like she's gonna poop herself or something. Do I dare? I think I dare. Hey, buddy. That worked out. There's another one in there. You know, I'm having flashbacks to this room being shaped exactly like the back section of the left wing in the police station. Oh no, he's upstairs. Okay, yeah, we'll go in here. I thought it was coming from this room. He was actually upstairs. Typewriter! Let me in. Let me in. Come on. There we go. Yes, I would like to save. Okay. This game doesn't have like a store. Oh, it does. There it is. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil and he shall provide. Oh, hey. Oh, wait, no, I wanted to deposit. Okay, there we go. For now, we'll deposit this. And then we have whatever this is. What are you? Fuel canteen. Ammo. Go ahead and reload that for me, Jill. An elite task force for fighting normal people, not frickin' zombies? Okay, that is technically true. Now, why can I interact with these kerosene things? Do I get a flamethrower at some point? Yeah, we'll refill that. Don't know what I need the fuel canteen for just yet. So... Again, though, I'm having flashbacks to the one, like, safe room. I've been forever. You've what? You've what? Darn it. It's okay, though. That just means we're doing really good when we don't need any extra. Alright. There you are, you stinky bitch. Alright, come on. Have at thee. I can't get her to look the way direction I want her to. God damn it, Jill. You and your tight pants. Come on. I know you're over there. I saw you earlier over the balcony. No? Nothing? Okay, we'll go this way then. Okay, that's for the armor key. Hello? Holy shit! Is that the map in like a steel frame? Wait, can I light this fireplace? In fuel canteen, use. Darn. This doesn't bode well. Stupid autocorrect. Ah, gotcha. Like you could put her in a schoolgirl outfit with that shooting stance. Yeah, it makes me think of the like opening scene to High School of the Dead. Also, are those gouges on the wall? Oh, whoops. I can't even pick that up. Maybe I should have left the fuel canteen, because I ain't got a clue what it's for. And why does this door look like the door to a confessional booth? I guess we... Oh, it's locked. It's a helmet door. Alrighty then. I guess we need to go here. Guess we're gotta go take care of our buddy down the hall. Also, hi, Will Bill. How are you doing? Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Also, the dust particles, kinda cool. Yes, I know, I hear you. Hey, buddy. Okay, he died. Go ahead and reload for me, Jill. Okay, was this the door that we could open? Come on. No knob on the door, can't get through. Shit. Okay. Oh, hey. Neat. I don't like, though, in this game that there's no, like, direct indication. What the fuck is that? What is that? Okay. Oh, is it a window barricade? Is that what it is? I was gonna say, was it a window barricade? Oh. Open journal. The pages are blank. What is that? Okay. Oh, okay. This was the other door that we couldn't open. Just loops back. All right, let's go downstairs. And we will deposit a bunch of stuff that right now I really don't know the use for. Yeah, it's the... Wait. Girls who eat picture of her family will soon be spitting image of her mother. God! Somebody shoot him. Okay. That's fine. Do we want to go get the shotgun? I think I should go get the shotgun. Because I'm pretty sure it's just like a couple doors back. Honestly, let's pick this up while we're here. Then we can go upstairs. Here. And then it was all the way down here. Fuck you, lightning! Fuck you! No, please, I have 3 kids. And then we'll take a couple of these. Again, I keep hitting I. Just try to fuse up as many of these as we can. And then... Oh, shit. Okay, you can only do 1. That's fine. Okay. Then we'll just go put these in the storage so that we'll have them. Beef, take the shot! Alright. So now we can go back to the main section, I think. Or maybe there's some other doors that we haven't got on this first floor. Well, I know there is. I know there's more sword doors that we haven't gone to. But that's fine. I'm mostly just... I'm hoarding shit. Hoarding shit. That's what I'm doing. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and use one of the other saves because we've gathered a bunch of items. And because I found out that we had 3 more inside the fucking... inside of the... What do you call it? The storage unit. Alright. Okay, we got 5 minutes until the ad break. Okay, we'll go back this way. Yes, we'll go through it. Screw it. Oh, what the heck? Chat, do we go get the shotgun? Kind of feel like we need to go get the shotgun. Go get this. Yeah, fuck it. We'll go get it. We'll just go get it so that we don't have to come back. This is zombie themed escape room, and I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. This door. Can you see why I want to skip the door animation sometimes? Hi, boss. Because they're just this tedious little animation. But I guess it's part of the novelty, sort of. All right, give me shotgun. Oh. Is the door locked? Or am I about to find horrors beyond my comprehension in here? Ah, shit! I should have fucking known. Do I need to shoot it? What do I... Oh my god, camera.
Oh God, what did I do now? Wesker! Barry! Help!
Jill!
Hi, Barry.
You in there?
Barry? Get me out of here! The door's jammed!
Stand back!
Oh, shit.
Grab my hand!
Thanks, Barry. I'm glad you just so happen to be outside the fucking door. There's a mod for that, I think. Wait, which part? Which mod? I've seen a lot of weird mods for Resident Evil games
Barry.
over my years on the
That
internet.
was a close one.
The doors?
Second
Oh,
late. You would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
there it is. Jail
Thanks.
sandwich.
But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to find other clues? I'm glad and all, but why are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check.
Barry.
Anyway, we should
Barry?
get back to searching for Wesker and Chris.
Thanks, Barry. I owe you one.
Don't mention it.
Oh, the lighter. Where was the lighter? Okay, we need to go get the lighter. In finding nails? Oh my god. Okay. Wait, I don't have a full inventory, right? Okay, yeah. We can go grab the lighter. Where was the lighter, though? It was upstairs. It's this way. It was in here, wasn't it? Oh, come on! I gotta go the long way. Why don't I just leave the door open? Huh? Fancy pants. Okay. Playing through as Chris as well? Probably not. This is my first time playing Resident Evil 1. Okay, where's... Oh, wait. What was sparkling back here? Son of a bitch. Ooh. What would I want the dog whistle for, chat? I did not see that earlier. Words are carved on it. Don't play with fire. Love, Jessica. The heck was that sound? Jupiter. Letting all the nice peppers in the beginning know where you are. I feel like it's relevant for some reason, but oh, heck. I also feel like the lighter is going to be relevant for some reason. Like maybe we'll get to an area where there's like literally no light and it's like stupidly dark. So we'll need the lighter. Is kind of what I'm imagining. Okay. You know what? We're gonna put the knife one in here. That's fine. Wait, what about this toolbox? Old boxes and stepladders lie neglected. Darn. So wait, is there something here? Warm light. Okay, that's it. That's all. Nothing else. Oh, ding donk. I see the ding donk. Okay, hold on. Let me get through this door. All right. Words on stream. Words. I need to run to the bathroom, so I will be back in just a minute, chat. I will give you all the music, and I will mute the game audio so it's not so loud. And we'll be back shortly. Don't burn anything down. Ordain, you're in charge. Yes, I do realize the oxymoron of saying not to burn anything down and then leaving Ordain in charge. It's funnier that way. Hee-hoo. All right, what'd I miss? What's going on? Well, yep, that's exactly what I expected to happen when I told Ordain he was in charge. I suppose that makes sense. I suppose that makes sense. Will Ordain take his flamethrower with a chainsaw blade attached? What? Here, don't worry, I'm turning down the music. Okay, hold on. I need chapstick again. My lips are extra chapped today because we are gab smacking as usual. I mean, what did you expect exactly? I don't know. Pretty much exactly what happened. Pretty much exactly what happened is what I expected. And hacking anything caught in their path. Oh, so sticking to the theme. Excellent. I'm proud of you, Ordain. You're doing fantastic. Keep working hard. Maybe I'll give you compensation and put you on the payroll. Carrie, are you here today? I meant to check. I feel like I haven't said hi to Carrie nearly enough. Carrie is here. Wait, payroll? I figured you'd been here. It's just sometimes like because the boxes that mods have, my mind, they sometimes like blend together and I don't always read the names. Nothing can stop me. Oh, God. All right, we'll finish this level and then we'll get back to the game. I'm actually, I am complaining a lot about like the controls and stuff, but at the same time, there's like this little bit of novelty to it that I think I'm enjoying. Playing like one of the original Resident Evil, well, remake of the original Resident Evil. I think I'd probably krill myself if I had to play the older version. All right. Wait, Black Veil Bride's version of Rebel Yell is actually pretty good. I like this. Anyway. Oh, shit. I full screen Spotify by accident. All right, let me make sure I unmute the game audio for y'all. There we go. The dog whistle. I'm gonna go grab the dog whistle. Entirely because I'm an item hoarder. And I don't know if it's gonna be useful. And watch the Uma Musume anime at the same time. Help me, the series has me in the grips. I've been trying to look up just seeing like compilations of my favorite characters rather than watching the whole anime series. But if you want another anime series to go watch Lord of the Mysteries. Every single one of you in chat needs to go watch Lord of the Mysteries right now. All of you. Give me that fucking dog whistle. Oh, a memo too. Today, Sir Spencer told me to hide something where no one could find it. Well, I had this idea. I figured if I could somehow have it protected by a dangerous animal like the vicious canines that live here, no one would be able to get near it. As far as I can tell, the mutt is always hanging around the second floor balcony on the west side of the terrace. Ought to come running at the sound of a dog whistle. This is where you come in. The thing is, I reckon you're the only person that can get near that damn dog without risking a serious mauling, which means only you can put this collar on him. The object that Sir Spencer wants hidden is concealed inside. You're the only person I can trust with this. Of course, you'll get something out of it as well. Remember that certain item that you've always wanted to get hold of? In exchange for your services, I might just be able to get it for you. That would work out well for both of us. John Tolman. Okay. Okay, wait, so hold on a second. Oh, I hit M, not N. N. Files. Crumpled memo. Where was it? Second floor. Balcony, west side of the terrace. Okay. Second floor balcony. West side of the terrace? Is that... Okay, we'll see. We'll see when we go outside in just a second. I'm gonna go back downstairs. The GameCube version. Squats! Oh, god damn it. Son of a bitch. All right, we gotta do 20 squats. Hold on a second. All right. Well, time to watch straight. Okay, that's the Uzume part. But stream. Yeah, but stream. All right. 20 squats. Anybody gonna do them with me or am I on my own for this one? Oh, goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 20. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. Okay. I hear somebody doing something, I think in the kitchen. I hear like metal going ting-a-ting-a-ting. Okay. Let's do this. Now we're moving. Now we're schmoving. Self-care. Thank you for self-care. All right. So we're gonna go this way. Yeah. Yeah. I know you say the doorknob's gonna like break every time, but I don't know if it ever actually does. And then we're gonna go, it's this way, right? Yeah. Spencer family emblems carved on the door. Okay, that's a first. Ooh! Okay. Well, it was worth a shot? What do you mean? Would you try this color on for me? Please ignore the buzzing and voltage sound across. Jesus. Locked. Emblem of armor. Okay. I should have fucking known, too. I should have fucking known. Okay. The sad thing with this being tank controls is we don't get the same kind of, See, this is what I was thinking. That this is the balcony. Stop. God, I got scared. Come here. Woo! Are you done? Okay. We're gonna do a thing, and I hope to God it's not gonna go horrible. Whew. Not necessary to use. Damn it. Okay. So this isn't the balcony. An emblem? The defiler of the accursed coffin. Of course it's locked. Excuse me, places to be, things to do. Okay. Rebel in evil. Okay. So then... we don't have anything we can do here. Where was... Can I... What is the compass doing? Oh, it's because I'm facing east. Duh. But... It also saying that we're missing something in here. Hold on, what are we missing? What would we be missing? In the save room? Was there something we didn't pick up? So there's the kerosene on the floor. Ah, there it is. Special instructions for disposal of dead bodies. You have new information regarding these beings. They may appear to be dead, but in fact they are able to come back to life. However, there are ways to prevent them from becoming active again. 2 known methods: to cease their resurrection, incineration, destruction of the head. You'll be notified immediately. Meanwhile, to those of you who still have the will to live, oil's been placed on the first floor of the mansion. Take as much as you need. You'll need something to light it with, which you'll need to find by yourself. Do you think if I never touched that note, they never would get up again? Shit. Wait, which part sucks? What sucks? I'm confused. What sucks? Wait, double check. Okay, yeah. That note was the thing that we missed. I'm guessing... Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So the doorknob finally crumbled. Ah, okay. Through here. Through here. There has to be a way forward, right? We can't just be stuck. We can't have soft locked ourselves, right? The enemies? It says we're also missing something in this office, so I do want to go check that again. Okay, who was that? Shrill Shock, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, enjoy the show. Okay. We're missing something. Nothing to do with that bowl. Clock is stuck at 3. Oh, botany. Use the medicinal herbs. Well-known fact that there exist many plants that are credited with medicinal healing powers. Since ancient times, mankind has made healing wounds and diseases using various plants. Sample 3 herbs that are native to the Arklay Mountains and briefly outline each of their medicinal qualities. Each herb has a distinct color and distinct medicinal quality. Physical strength. Blue herb neutralizes poisons. However, the red herb has no real effect by itself. We have found that mixing green and red results in a magnified effect. We will outline the effects of red herbs when mixed with other herbs when we have more data. Meanwhile, feel free to experiment on your own, for true knowledge is only acquired through experience. Is that it? Still not it. What about over here? Aha. Don't mind if I do. There we go. Okay. I was gonna say, there was a seating area over there. What are you twirling? Hammer. Oh, it's the Monster Hunter hammer. Wait. Okay. This way. Here's fuck that window barricade. Don't need that shit. Don't want that shit. Chinese iron door? That's an armor door. Another armor door. Wait. Anything useful? Bunch of knickknacks. Sword key! Okay, I knew there couldn't have been a way that we were trapped here. Generally. Oh, hey!
Barry.
Jill, got any good news?
Other than I'm still alive in this madhouse? No.
It's much safer here either.
That no.
Better
I
secure
feel
our
that
escape
no.
route first. There's gotta be a back door somewhere.
All right then, let's split up again.
Hey, hold on a sec.
Why are we going back to the same door we just came through?
What?
A can of fizz. It's sure to yellow and mellow those things.
Hmm?
It's yours. Hopefully you won't have to use it.
Oh.
What about you?
Oh, don't worry. I like the buddy system we have here.
I see.
I don't...
Thanks. I'll take it.
See you later.
I don't have a gun to use those with, and the item box is so far away. Do I dare go back for the item box to put stuff away in there? Or do I try to just keep going forward? Locked. Armor key. Other side. Okay. Barry. What about Barry? Oh, the name him Barry. Him named Barry. Okay. We're gonna go back to the item box just so I can put shit away. Because that is the only item box we have found now, and I don't know how much more shit we're gonna come across. Oh, these cameras, man, I swear. Excuse me, pardon me. I swear that this entire section just reminds me of the Resident Evil 2 back staircase of the police station. I keep saying that, but it's built exactly like it. Okay, we'll put our shit in here. And then go down. And then we'll use the save. I did not want to do the kerosene. Okay. But yeah, if we wanted to burn the bodies, it seems like we have to carry the lighter and the kerosene. Which is 2 slots that would always have to be filled. Is there equipment upgrades in this game? Does anybody know? Anybody off the top of their heads? All right. It all goes in the box? What do you mean it all goes in the box? It goes in the box or it gets the hose again? I'm yet again deciding to ignore the window barricades, just like I did in Resident Evil 2. All right, we'll go check the West Wing. I need to figure out what to do for, Okay, I know there's nothing up here that work with the sword key. So, whoops, hello? What is that on the stairs right there? Oh, okay, those are just bars to hold the carpet down. Okay, what haven't we opened here? Let's go check this door. Helmet. Yes, it says we missed something in that hall, but I don't trust that hall. I feel like if I go there, dogs are gonna start coming through the windows. So, we are going to check out this area. Because I'm pretty sure that's where... Oh my god, no, I just realized fucking Fairbanks is... That is ominously loud. Okay. Rubber been evil. Rubber been... Okay, so this door. Armor. Son of a bitch, dude. I don't think... Oh, Jesus. Was down here a sword door? Okay, it was a sword door. Thank goodness. Let me in. You know, I just realized, I'm pretty sure that's... Oh, no. Welcome to... Welcome to Resident Evil 6? That's a door. Oh, Jesus. Give me that. Yo, we got all the handgun ammo on the fucking planets. Go ahead and reload for me. Jail? Okay. Oh, that's the elevator. Okay, we're not gonna take the elevator just yet. Blocked from the other side. Jesus. Power doesn't seem to be turned on. That dude's totally getting up later. Watsaku, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. It's the... Oh, hey, give me that dagger. How many daggers do you think I'm going to be able to store up? There's a big-ass fire over here. Crawling with maggots. Ugh. Okay, yeah, we can't really do anything. Oh! Fuck, dude. No. Oh. Why am I still getting startled by these guys? That's just a normal zombie, okay? Got him. Glad that worked. Why hasn't it worked before? Did I need Jill to read the paper to know to start aiming for his head? How did I get the head that time? Okay. So we don't have the power. But wait. No, I don't think that gate, that was the gate that was just said it was locked from the other side. So let's go here. And we're gonna go upstairs. Who be cooking in here? Who's cooking? Oh, you talking about the kitchen? The kitchen? Nobody apparently. Nobody for a long time. You're fucking joking, dude. That doesn't sound like crow noises. Also, there was a corpse here before. This took us to... Oh, shit. This didn't take us to the attic, does it? Borb. The Borb's just making horrifying noises. Okay, yeah, the mirrored guys. And then straight ahead was the one where we ran into the... We know there's a key up there. What is this? Okay, we got 2 doors down here. I'm pretty sure one of these is... Oh, Jesus. I scared the shit out of myself. God damn it. Wait, which one was it? This one? Oh, not this one. Excuse me. Excuse me. After leaving the prone state? Wait, what? We weren't prone. Yeah, I can't crouch or anything either. Okay, there we go. Discard? Yes. Okay. So this means that we've opened all of the sword doors. Which means there has to be... Jesus. Oh my god, there's a whole fucking thing here. This is the lockpick door. Hello? I'm sure you're not going to be utterly terrifying. Oh, shit. Hold on. Map. Balcony. Terrace. All right. Chat, please tell me this whistle calls a normal dog. Well, a normal zombie dog. It's gonna be a total normal zombie dog, right? I want a real answer here. Ah, okay, this was the balcony door here. Okay, good. Hello? Yes, Knight, what can I do for you?
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm!
Okay. I'm pretty sure this is the terrace. Just shrugs? Don't you shrugs at me. Okay. Oh, Jesus. I missed. Ow. Fuck you, bitch. I'm hitting E. I'm hitting E. Why didn't it use the defensive item? Hold on. That's me hitting E. What? Hello? Is that only for zombies? I don't see why. And I can only take 2 attacks from the dog? Options. Fine. Controls. Auto. So be it. All right, but that's it, because I don't want to go do all the shit since our last save. I wanted to get through this fight and get whatever the dog had and then go save. But no, that just ruined it. We'll do all of that other shit, including the basement and kitchen shit again next time we play this. Next week, probably. God damn it. Damn it. I'm upset. I'm upset. All right, chat. Okay. I'm not a big fan of getting like forced to do like hard repeats of sections, unfortunately. I was hoping that we were going to be doing, it was going to go better than that. I was going to be able to heal after that second attack. But, well, shit happens. Shit fucking happens. Okay, I'm just double checking to see who's live right now before we raid. We're going to be back tomorrow, though, guys. We're going to be doing more yapping. It's probably going to be more on a topic. I think we're going to do paranormal twinks tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we're going to do paranormal twinks tomorrow. But let me see who we are going to raid. The pain of safe room systems. It's not necessarily safe room systems. It's the limited saves. I did not know Resident Evil 1 had limited saves. That's crazy. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. All right. I think we're going to raid Imuki, mainly because Imuki's title is Scuff ASMR. Don't watch, and because I want to make the raid message the stare emote. Raid Imuki. And we're going to make it the, where is it? Stare. And it's just going to be all caps, observing, observing, observing. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to probably be doing, I believe Paranormal Twinks is the plan currently. We'll yap away. We'll see what the news is. We'll probably be goofy about Horse Girls for some reason because it's funny and I like the game. I don't know. I'm thinking later tonight I may do a whole nother rewatch of Lord of the Mysteries in the Discord. If anybody wants to join, if you're not in the Discord, I highly recommend joining it. There's no guarantee though, so keep your eyes out. I'll probably just be sitting in casual watch in the Discord if I do decide to re-stream it for everyone. But I do also have TTRPG time tonight, but it's delayed like an hour and a half, so I have a little bit extra time tonight. We'll see what happens. We're watching Twinks, yes, Ordain. But until then, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome, and thank you for enjoying the show. Later. Good night. Also, y'all can use any stare emote. You don't just have to use my emote. Any stare emote works.